sent it to you.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
You ever have an itchy
I love
nose?
that. is it
Like it
is it
itches like
itchy or
right. What? I'm
is
not.
it
No,
itchy? Is it
not in my nose. On my
no?
nose.
Is it itchy or scratchy?
Yes.
uh,
If it's, but hold on. If it's scratchy, do you sniff it? Do you remember that radio
only if it
station? Scratch and
what?
sniff. They would take like Linkin Park and Eminem and like mash them up. You get like, I tried so hard, lose yourself in the mute, and the same thing.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Why was it? It was called Scratch and Sniff
Yeah,
Radio.
because they would like blend the songs.
Oh, okay. But wasn't I mean Jay Z and Linkin Park did an album
Yeah, and it
like
was
that?
horrible.
Uh,
Awful.
there were a
Garbage.
couple.
Hot garbage.
Okay, there were a couple good
No,
songs.
there wasn't.
I okay, but do you remember the stickers, the Scratch and Sniff stickers? I think you're too young for them. They were
Were
like
they on the black and white TV on the tube?
there was my sister had a sticker book and
Okay.
she had like a whole page dedicated to just scratch and sniff stickers.
So like a sticker book, is that like a notebook that's just full of
It's a it,
stickers?
no, it was a big deal. All girls in the 80s had sticker books. It had like a really fancy plastic um cool like cover to it, and you would open it up and there'd just be all these cool stickers that you collected. And
I
it
guess yeah,
was
you would think that.
really, yeah. I shout out to my sister for the sticker book that she had.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out. Shout out. Sticker books. What's up, sticker books? If you had a sticker
Uh,
book, drop it in the comments. And if you didn't, also drop it in the comments.
oh
Who's
my!
on?
Speaking of the chat, like we're live tonight. There's a lot of people
Oh,
in the chat on
above the
Instagram.
games, and their eyebrows are on there.
You know what? I talked to him over the weekend. He said he went back to his eyebrow esthetician, and she fixed things up. They're a little bit better now.
Is
So
that like a magician? Do they like wave a wand and go
I
alakazam?
don't know. I know
Your
you got to
eyebrows
talk.
look normal again.
You got to talk to him about his eyebrow.
No, man, he's got the Carolina goatee now. I need to trim mine up. Starting to look like a
Yeah,
dang hippie.
just rocking a little goatee now. You know, it's
Yeah.
summertime. Well, it's kind of summertime. It's been cold here today for some reason. It was in the 50s, a little windy, some rain last night.
I don't want to talk about the weather
So
anymore. I'm gonna get mad.
yeah, yeah. Well, the pool opens in my apartment complex this weekend, so I'm excited
Yeah.
about that. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm really
Cool.
excited.
Sun's
Um,
out, buns out.
yeah.
Kind of weird.
Speaking
Anyways,
speaking of that, I'm wearing some really to cover my buns. I got some really fancy Infinite Flag pants on. I love them. I can't get enough of these pants.
did you get the 2.0 joggers?
I got the joggers. I got the sweatpants. I got
We're not talking about the fleece joggers that you were wearing while it was 6,000 degrees this past weekend at East Coast Nationals. Shout out. Um, we're talking about
they're
the
comfortable.
joggers. Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
wore
saying.
both. I wore both. I had the sweatpants on for Saturday,
Yep.
There was a little bit of regret there because it
Okay.
was hot.
I wouldn't
But
regret it. It's an
Sunday,
infinite flag product.
right? Exactly. And I mean, I had my Infinite Flag bucket hat on all weekend
You did.
because that,
Shout out.
yeah, I love this thing. Can't get enough of it.
Yep.
I mean, I look at my nose. You see my nose?
Yeah, you got one.
Not it's not sunburned.
Yeah, obviously it's Wednesday and it's cloudy with a chance of meatballs in Ohio.
Okay, well, but here, I mean, every time I came home from a tournament prior to the Infinite Flag bucket hat, my nose would be, I'd have it, it would either be beet red from the sunburn
Mhm.
or there'd be this layer of neon green because of all the aloe vera that I had gobbed on my nose for three
Well,
days.
that's just because it's a rather large nose.
Whoa, okay, because I'm Italian, I got a big nose? Crazy,
Nah,
man.
actually, that's not okay. Wrong stereotype. All right, we're losing viewers on this. Here's the deal:
We are.
Infinite Flag, Infinite Flag. They got you covered from head to almost your toes. You can pull your
Ankles.
joggers down over your You can pull your joggers down over your ankles, cankles, whatever you got. Let them know. Um, yeah, just use code Cox Runnin 15. Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Infinite Flag way. Let them know we sent
Yeah,
you.
yeah, absolutely. We didn't even. Can you intro the show real quick? We didn't even do that. We just started talking.
We did just kind of start talking. Welcome to Clocks Running, the podcast, everything flag football. I'm Jacob.
And I'm in.
And why is
And we're
TJ
here on a
texting me while he's watching the show?
bro, come
Weird.
on.
Weird flex.
Yeah,
Weird
it is
flex.
a weird flex. That's a really weird flex. I just we're here on a Wednesday night, which is
We are.
cool. It's a little
Yep.
different.
A little different.
Um,
Not a lot of different, but a
yeah.
little different.
What? Yeah, about 24 hours difference.
Okay. Give or take. It's also a little
Yeah.
bit later.
Yeah, that's true.
We start the show at
That is true.
7:30. It is 8:52 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, these are all good points.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we brought it up in relation to Infinite Flag because clearly the Infinite Flag tent was just, I mean, nonstop busy. I'm over here trying to talk to Nat and Tom, having my friendly conversations with them. I
Interrupting
missed
business.
them.
Yep. Hmm.
I hadn't seen them for a while, but they were so
Disrupting the flow
busy
of
that they
traffic. Yep.
they could barely talk to me
Yeah.
because at this point, this is what I realized. I was at the gym working out this morning. Don't worry, I have a sauna story, by the way.
Yeah, we know.
But
We
I
know.
was at the gym and I was like, I looked at myself and I'm like, okay, I've got Optimum Nutrition T-shirt on. I got Infinite Flag shorts and canes. If you're not dressed like that on a Wednesday, do you really even go to flag football tournaments? Like,
The answer is no. The answer is no.
like, like I feel like everybody has that in their wardrobe at this point. Those three items, at least one of those three, that
Yep. It
combination
bare
somewhere.
minimum.
Yeah,
But
bare minimum.
give another shout out, my pals Nat and Tom. They're about to tie the knot. They're about to sign that legal document that can only be broken after a year of waiting in a court of law. I didn't mean to
Huh?
go down that negative rabbit hole about it, but positive, they're
Whoa!
getting married. So shout out to them. They're getting ready to tie the knot. We couldn't be happier for you guys. Congratulations. Make sure you guys use code ClocksRunning15 for all wedding purchases. That'll get you nothing on their wedding registry, but you still hook them up.
Yeah. Could you imagine somebody going in? Yeah, I'm looking for my 15% discount from Clocks Running on the on the coffee grinder.
What's a coffee grinder?
Uh, you know, well, in the old days,
Yeah, tell me,
you
Grandpappy.
you used to have to get coffee beans, and
Yep.
you would grind those beans down. I
Okay,
literally
I'm listening.
in my garage, we had this big giant coffee grinder, and it was a glass container at the top. You would put the beans in there, and you would like crank it, and you would have a little bag underneath,
Are you?
and it would
Is
fill.
it the same cranking and grinding that happens at high school prom dances or no?
Uh, if they're using one of those old school pencil sharpeners.
I mean, that's a dance move.
Yeah, so it's like that, same kind of thing, same
Okay,
concept.
all right.
There was a lot of that, yeah. But
Well,
anyway, so that's how you would grind coffee.
okay.
Uh, People don't use that anymore. I feel like you could still buy whole beans at the
I think
grocery store.
they're called K cups now. I don't know.
Oh, okay, but that's not. Is that even? That's more plastic than coffee, isn't it?
You're more plastic than coffee. Hey, let's keep
Whoa.
rolling here. We're gonna talk real quick about a new friend that we've developed on the show.
That's
Guy
right.
named Icons Player Cards just shouted us out on his story. Check out these dope clocks running cards, guys. They're both sides, front and back and front. Little fun little facts on the back of those talking about the Clocks Running podcast. Make sure you guys check them out. And I had to get my guys taken care of. Coops at baseball practice tonight, but I got Ant, I got Unk, and they made one of me, but I don't want to talk about that one. But we got player cards for days. So shout out Icons for getting us taken care of. Appreciate those guys. Yeah, super excited to be able
There
to
you
give
go.
you these. And if you're
I'm
lucky enough, Ant will autograph one for you.
I have a really cool signature because I actually know how to write cursive.
What's cursive?
Exactly.
Hey, fun
Yep.
fact. So when I went to take the SAT when I was a junior in high school, after not writing in cursive for about 6 years, they made us write an entire paragraph in cursive, gave you 15 minutes to do it, and people failed that part.
Wow.
I scribbled a lot, but I didn't fail it.
That's
I just couldn't remember how to do a G. That was the biggest hang up for me.
like
I
one of
mean,
the easiest ones.
I know I'm a G, but I couldn't figure it out for a minute.
It's like more like I think the Z can get kind of challenging. Uh, it's weird that the N is actually looks like an M.
Whoa.
Uh, all right. Is that controversial?
Maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, so I had a lot of fun at East Coast Nationals. This is my opinion. I tell me what you think, Jacob, but
Lay it on me.
I thought that was the coolest location that I've been at.
Okay.
I mean, the one that was like there was, the first 4 years or whatever. It was a cool location. It was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like the vibe. I like the feel of it. The fields were really nice. I
Those
don't know.
were not non-turf fields. Those were the best fields we've had for East Coast Nationals. Absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
I did like the park. There was a lot of cool things about it. Location was cool. The vibes were great. Um, you know, it was a good tournament. It was a good time. Craig and Mike,
Yeah.
have always led the way in kind of, putting on a great product. It's always great to get with them and work with them and have a good time. But we had a great team count. We had great competition across the board. I thought, nobody just walked through anything. The Chinese national teams, the men's and women's, both came and played. Showed up and showed out. There was a couple times where they both made a championship, and we're like, you know what? We scrimmage each other enough.
Yeah. The old split the pot championship.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and shout out to
shout out.
Brandon, is it Feinstein?
It's
Is that how you say
Feinstein.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Shout out to Brandon. I mean, he was out there. He looked like a spring chicken. I thought he was maybe
Um,
23, 24 this past weekend.
I
Like
don't think he's a
he
chicken. I think he's a guy.
what
Shout out.
he
I thought he looked
looked great out
supreme.
there. Yeah, and I mean, he was playing. He was catching touchdowns almost every game. and normally quarterbacks don't do that.
Well, quarterbacks typically pass the ball, and
Exactly.
most of the
That's
time
what.
they pass the ball. They don't have to catch the ball.
Yeah,
But I mean, my guy likes to do a little razzle dazzle. Yeah,
yeah.
so shout out to
And
Supreme
then
for taking care of business.
yeah, they did. They swept three
Non-contact.
formats. Yeah.
Yep.
Now I did see something over the weekend that I've never seen before at a flag football tournament. So, contact, things get heated, people get excited, guys say things, terms and words and name calling that, people take things personal. Anyway, this had nothing to do with players at all. There was a guy on the sideline, happened to be eating a banana. Um,
I'm not gonna touch this
and
one.
and he was getting upset at what was going on the field, and he made some comments, and then at some point he called the
Nope.
cameraman a name, and then the cameraman proceeded to very quickly like shed his camera. I don't know who he gave it to. It was an expensive camera.
I didn't see any
Maybe
sheds
he
out
just
there though.
put it on the ground. And so he was literally walking through the middle of the game.
Mhm.
And then the guy eating the banana threw his banana at the camera.
Nope. Not touching it. Not touching it.
and, and this happened all just right in front of me. And I'm like, just,
Nope.
it was hilarious. But that made the cameraman even more upset because now he had food thrown at him.
What are you gonna do if someone throws a piece of food at you and you don't have a piece of food to throw back?
That's true.
That's the worst
Yeah.
food fight ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of food fights, if I was in high school, um, and I needed somebody to win a food fight with, I think I would ask our next guest to be on my team.
I don't think she. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she would be great at food
Well,
fighting.
bring her in and I want to know what would be the number one food she would want to fight with.
Becca, welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Hi guys.
What are we using in a food
In a
fight?
food fight.
What's the number one thing you're gonna go for?
Um, I don't have personal experience, but I did have a teammate in high school who was actually part of a food fight, and she then came to soccer practice after. And there was like mashed potatoes in her hair.
I
And
knew
I
you
was
were gonna
like,
go with
yeah,
that.
brother, like a big glop of like mashed potatoes just to like fling at someone. You're probably gonna get 10 people on the way because they're not gonna hold its
Yeah,
shape or form.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, that's very effective. It's very
Okay,
effective. If I
okay.
wanted to
Yeah.
get 10 people and put mashed potatoes in your hair, I'm
With or
going.
without gravy?
Oh, with, absolutely.
Oh yeah, all right.
Absolutely.
See what
Absolutely have to go
Choosing the
with.
violence.
Yeah, no, I'm like, if I want to make sure that I get enough people and like enough happens, I'm for sure going with mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah.
Look, borderline psycho. All right, I love it. Hey,
You see,
Well,
Becca,
I don't
what?
know
that's
what
one
was the story from with the banana, and I'm like, what's going on?
They tell us about
Where did I
when it
get? What did I
happened.
get to?
We were shocked.
Yeah, it was and at some point because I was recording this game, and at some point like I put my phone down because I didn't know if
No, yeah, but no,
violence
you
was
need
gonna
to keep it
ensue.
up. Like, do not
And literally the
Mm-mm.
entire chat was
He
like,
knows the
pick the
rules.
phone up, pick the phone up.
Yes, yes. I agree. I'm with the chat on that one.
Yeah, once I realized that there was just a bunch of yelling back and forth and a banana thrown, I was like, okay, we can get back to the game. And it was
Yeah,
it was so funny.
love that.
Bold strategy.
Yeah, speaking of messy food, I don't know if you guys did this in high school, but my high school had this like obstacle course for homecoming week, and it was like all messy food. So one of the things that they did was they would have a baby pool filled with mashed potatoes. And there was like a slip and slide with Kool-Aid, and there was like all these things, and you were like, it was a relay team that you were on, and you would like every team would have like crazy outfits or
But what did you get
ballerina
out of
tutus.
this? Like,
Well,
what
I mean,
what was the end result? Like, you go through this obstacle course of food, and then like you get to be the homecoming king. Like, is that how you guys did it? Because ours is like a popularity vote.
yeah, I was gonna say it was a
No.
vote, but see, also Becca, he was at a time where electricity wasn't like 100% there. Pop over here,
No internet. No
yeah,
internet. Pre-internet.
pre-internet.
Pre-internet. Okay, I'm just
Um,
curious. Like, what was the point of the food obstacle course? Like, what?
And
to win,
what place did you finish in?
to
That's
win, and
all right.
yeah, my team got first. Hello, what?
Oh,
Why are
clearly,
we?
clearly, there's mashed potato
What?
pool and Kool-Aid. Clearly,
Yeah,
clearly.
absolutely. And we like
Okay,
my team.
just curious.
We were all wearing cheerleading outfits. So,
Of course.
Yeah, so we went
So
cheerleading outfits into the mashed potatoes and Kool-Aid. All
exactly.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I'm just like so
Yeah.
curious, like what the point was. But yeah, okay, I love it. You're just having a good time. We're just here for the
It's
vibes.
just competition, right? You gotta that's the point to be able to
You
say
got
like I
that
forget
you
what
wore
they
the
called
cheerleading
it.
outfit the best? Okay.
You were
There
the
was
best.
a name for it, but we had like a whole homecoming week. Like every single day there was some cool event going on, and it was
Mondays
cool
mashed
back.
potatoes, Tuesdays turnip greens, Wednesdays meatloaf mystery meat.
You guys didn't do this stuff in
No, we
like
didn't come
homecoming
up with
week
our
No,
wasn't a
food.
I mean, I remember
uh,
homecoming week, and it was like Spirit Week, so every day had a theme, but it was
Yeah.
not.
but yeah,
There was
right?
no
Yeah.
mashed potatoes
It
and
wasn't the food pyramid.
Did you guys have like a big bonfire?
yes, the night
And
before.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so that was cool, and then there were
I mean, yeah. Homecoming week was God, I'm
Did
gonna
you wear
age
your
myself. It
cheerleading
was
out?
so long ago. Yeah, like so long ago. All I remember from homecoming is that I actually broke my collarbone the day of. So I went to
oh wow.
homecoming. Yeah, just uh, like in a broken cast. It was great.
Yeah, that sucks. That
Yeah.
sucks.
So no mashed potatoes are
Speak,
involved.
Speaking of memory lane,
Oh no.
Becca, I know you're a huge fan of the show. You
Huge.
you probably watch every single week. And so whenever we have a new guest on,
100%.
we like to give you
Okay.
the chance to share your origin story in flag football and what
Oh.
brought you to the epicenter of the flag world.
Are we considering this podcast the epicenter of flag world?
No, we're
Exactly. I was
considering
hoping
Oh.
you.
I was just considering top shelf, but geez, all right. I mean, okay.
um
Number 3
okay.
live podcast.
Yeah, you guys got to put that in somewhere. Um, my name's Becca. I play for Top Shelf Flag Football out of Southern California. I've been playing flag since I was in college. We played intramurals and obviously different formats, 4v4 and 8v8. I moved to Southern California almost 10 years ago, and so I met some friends playing flag then. I met Turbo, who everybody knows, our quarterback for Top Shelf. We became best friends once we met, and she started Top Shelf. I decided to take the leap and join her, and we've been rocking Top Shelf ever since 2020. So now 6 years. And we play league out of Southern California. We travel to tournaments. So that's pretty much how I got involved and invested in the fives game.
Yeah.
There's some more there
Everything.
though. Like you're like
There is
you've
some
done
more
like
there.
the junior national team. Like
Yeah. That was a really cool experience coaching for the U12, the West Coast team. We were blue.
mhm.
That was really, really cool. I think I've talked about this previously, but I learned a lot about myself, like as a coaching style, and what I would like prefer to do. I say this a lot. I worked for the Angels for a long time, and I know that most people know that like in professional sports, there's an analytics crew, a nerd herd is what I called them. Um, and they're just like your analytics guys. They're looking at all the data, all of that stuff. And I think I would really prefer to do that. So like I'm waiting for flag football to get big in order to put my name in for a team so that I can say, like, I want to be your analytics guru. I want to be able to come to you and say, like, hey, every time you guys do this 1-point conversion, we're not getting it, 60% of the time. So maybe knock that one out. So I would just really prefer that. So that's what that coaching experience gave me overall.
I could be wrong, but I actually think that the Chinese national teams have a guy on the sideline doing that.
Love that. I want to be that guy,
Yeah.
but as a girl.
I was gonna say.
I think that I just noticed there was a guy on the sideline for both the women's and the men's team, and the entire time he was like taking notes of which play, and he was like going back and like referencing stuff.
What was he like?
It was just,
no, that's not what you did. Not
what did I do?
Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. I get it. Okay.
That's a good little. You definitely summed that up really quickly with zero details, which I guess is
that was. I mean, how many more details do you need? Like, okay, we met my very first season coming back from my ACL tear, which was my third one overall, and
not a
playing
contest.
tough, it's not a contest. I don't know anybody else who's done it 3 times though. So hit me up if you've done it 3 or more, and we can start a club or something. But yeah, I mean, Ant, we met that's 4 years ago now, 2023. So 3 years ago when I came back and kind of just dove in.
Fun fact though, we actually met prior to that when you were still recovering from your ACL injury. You just didn't know it was me yet because I was pretty new to officiating. And
Did I yell at you?
oh yeah, you like there was I was
right,
at a tournament. I don't know. You were yelling.
Yes,
hold on, you were yelling at me at the coin toss. Like you were mad. Just like
Ant, it's heads or tails. How do you mess that up?
It was
Where
a
were
tournament.
Where were we?
It was San Diego.
For OTCS?
Yeah. So it would have been 2022.
And I still had the brace on.
Yeah, you still had the brace on. So you were like literally there just to coach. And so I don't know who I forget who I was officiating with in the tournament, but I was definitely like, I think I probably officiated like 7 top shelf games that day. And like you just wouldn't like it was like you would not let me have even a moment to think or to breathe, and you were like, how much time? What's the play clock? What's the score? And you're like just up and down the sideline.
I expect the very best. If I expect that out of myself, I expect that out of everybody. So like we're not having we're not out there like gallivanting around. We're playing a game.
Yeah, so
and I want to know.
So that was only.
I need things to know.
That was only the second like travel tournament I had ever done. I just moved to Southern California, and I walked away from that, and I was like, I got to get better. And so, Becca, literally, you helped me invest more time in officiating because. From there, the next tournament that I did was Worlds, and I hadn't worked for Jakob yet, and so I spent those 2 months after. So I was like, I spent the 2 months in between that, like trying to do everything. I like, okay, how do I make sure that the next time I run into a fiery coach like this, like I'm better prepared. I can handle it better. I, manage all these things that I need to. And I don't know. I think I did pretty good for you that first time, Jakob. I don't know.
You did okay.
Tell the truth, Jakob.
It was all right.
3 out of 5 stars. Would recommend.
I did have yellow socks on, which I know like at some point Jakob was like, go ref with the DMV crew in contact, and these guys are like sticklers for everything. And I had yellow big bird socks on.
Like that. Like, that's like okay, got it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's reffing faux pas. Got it.
Oh yeah, there's
Oh, for
definitely
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Your our uniform or their uniform should be cleaner than a player's uniform.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So not
So
yellow
yeah.
But
socks.
So
not yellow cheese whiz socks or whatever he had on.
yeah. So then from there though, I came back from Tampa and I started officiating in the air raid. And then at some point I went over to Tough. And then
Mhm.
that's when, and you would just come back. And I
That was
remember
my
the first
first day. Yeah.
yeah,
That.
yeah. And that first game, you were so fired up just because you were excited to be back. And I think I remember like clearly us having a conversation. I might have thrown a flag on you. I don't remember. Because
Not unusual.
you definitely cussed me out. So
Let him have it.
so I was
But the
like, we
unfortunate part is
can
that I'm usually right when that's happening. So that's the bummer.
we
Because then I'm like, well, well, we're there. So
I was,
Let her rip.
I was like, after the game, I was like, we could communicate way better if maybe you don't call me names, and like, and so
and then
yeah,
we've been
we're
best
from there.
friends ever since.
Exactly, like we've been good ever since. Like,
I feel like everybody just needs to pass the can you be good at your job test, and I'm gonna put you through
yeah,
it. Give me every new ref. Maybe don't, because then I'm gonna get annoyed.
No,
But
I like
I'm gonna
this.
make sure they pass. I'm gonna make sure they pass because I know everything. So I want to make sure that you know everything, and I think that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, no
yeah,
argument. And if you don't
no,
know it, you're gonna
absolutely.
learn it.
And if I don't know, I'm gonna call you and be like, I have a question down on field 17. Come over here.
Come on
Come on
down.
down, Jacob, because I don't trust what they're telling me.
All right, but you know what? What I do have to say is because sometimes Becca, either you or Turbo will send me random messages.
So random. Sorry.
Is that with
Wow.
with
My
a
inbox
rule
is dry. Cool.
with a rule
Jacob, that's because
question?
it takes you 20 days to get back to me. I'm
Well,
sending it by freaking carrier pigeon when I send it to you. I'm
well,
like, all right.
yeah.
I'm like, Ant's gonna get back to me in 13 seconds, and I'm like, Jacob will get back to me the next time I see him at a tournament 6 months from now.
That's right.
That is
3 to 5 business days. I got you.
but it's really funny because when you guys a lot of the times when you guys ask me these questions, I'm like, yeah, this is the perfect scenario where if you challenge this, you guys will win this challenge, and you're like, we were just mad about it, so we didn't challenge it, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, well,
I just wanted to complain about it after the fact. Yeah,
yeah,
I think sometimes too, what happens, and I think you can understand this for us especially, is that the refs in our league are learning at the same time. Not
Sure.
learning, I know what I'm doing, but they're learning. And so what happens is that there's definitely a penalty, but they don't throw the flag, even if the end result of my play or whatever play may negate it. But I still want to know what the penalty was so that I can
Sure.
say, okay, I'm declining I declined the penalty because I want the results as a touchdown, but I want to accept the yards. So I'm going to go for 2, and that way I'm getting it to 6 versus just going for 1 and everybody just being like, well, it doesn't matter because the play ended and it was a touchdown. But it does matter. And it also matters, I think, too, in holding, and not us too, holding people accountable. There was a penalty on the play. And if I wanted to
Yeah.
be actually, I don't want to accept the results of the play as a touchdown. I want to redo it. But they're not throwing that flag or that conversation isn't happening because everybody just feels well, it just moved forward anyways. And
Takes the
that's where I
power
think,
away from you.
yeah. And which is, I don't want to say, look, we're playing a local league, which is fine. And that is more than enough, and it is what it is, right? We're not playing IFAF out here and expecting the best of the best, and we're not at IFLAG tournaments and I'm expecting the best of the best, so I kind of let it go. But I definitely think that that's where those texts come from, because I'm like, am I crazy for having thought that? And
No.
that's where those texts usually come from. And for the most
yeah.
part, we're learning what our refs do and don't know at the same time. Whereas I would expect more out of an IFLAG ref, when I go to us tournaments, you're going to throw the flag even if I do decline because I want the results,
Right.
but I want to have a conversation. And like the other team probably wants to know too, like, oh, I can't go through the rush, right? You know, I can't do this, like whatever it was. Like that way they have more knowledge. Like the more knowledge, the more power you have. Like don't do that again. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's usually where those texts come from.
Yeah. Well, it starts with speaking of ref faux pas, the sleeveless ref shirts are not my favorite.
Okay.
Well, they're
Is
top
that
three for
across
me.
the board?
So
I was like, wait, who is that? Like, who are we shading right now? Like, is that across the board?
So,
Like, I was like, everybody? Like, no? Okay.
no, I
Ant
think it's
says they're not
just
his favorite, but he has one.
I do have one in my closet as a
Okay, well, the specific
collector's
location of
edition.
it doesn't matter. You still have one.
Because I worked for that league. I
Okay,
don't think
cool. Shout out.
I on, shout out Air Raid. I don't think I
Wow.
ever. I actually don't think I ever wore it, even though they gave it to me. Maybe there was like one
Oh,
time and
wow. So
they
we're
were like,
ungrateful. Cool.
"Well, yeah, because it was sleeveless. What are we doing? We're just
Dude,
like."
trying to have suns out, guns out, man. That's what's going
We live
on.
in Southern California, and like we're just
Exactly.
trying to
I know.
Becca, he
to
doesn't get
I
it. He's
the
I
SoCal
understand. Well,
vibes.
you know what? Then let the sleeveless refs keep the pace of play and not throw a flag when they don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. You know what? Just keep everything in your pocket. Don't even ref this game. Just let it go. We're gonna let it go. Just don't even come. It's fine.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's
Jacob, I'm
fantastic.
always willing to take it a step too far.
No,
Per
I'm with
usual.
it. I'm with it.
Per usual.
So tell us about the growth of women's flag in Southern California. Since you've been around it for a lot of that growth. What does it look like over the last few years?
I think there's two like main streams of like what I guess gonna discuss or going to want to discuss. I think there's one, the growth absolutely at the like kid level. I think there's a lot more flag football. It's basically the same version of AYSO that we had growing up. Like there's a flag football league every single person can join. I think a lot of that is probably due to, and I'm going to give them the credit, like Conquer SoCal for having so many teams, for having such a big organization. So I know nothing about how they got started, but like just seeing their growth when they're like, there's the Conquer Bolts and the Conquer Lightning and the Conquer Blue and the Conquer Yellow and the Conquer Blue Yellow, and like every single one of them has 17 teams in every single H division. Like it just is a testament to how much work they're putting in as an organization. And I think that obviously has put a lot of pressure. Like the older those girls get, California sanctioned flag football as a high school sport 2 years ago. So like each of those girls has the opportunity to progress, higher and higher as they get older. And then I think that has grown into, there are so many, I'm going to call them small colleges because I came from a state that only has like literally 2 D1 colleges and that's it. So like all of these small colleges around here that are picking up women's flag as a sport. And so there's La Sierra and Citrus just made one, and Redlands has one, and IBC, and Cal Poly SLO just became the first D1 school to do it. And so I think that has truly just progressed the game, because as these girls have gotten older, they're like, no, playing as a child wasn't good enough. Like playing as a kid was not good enough, and I want to keep playing. And I think that's been really, really cool to see. On the adult side, I think you saw the comeback with Tough. Tough decided that they were going to do fives for the first time. And that was a big change for them. Tough was known for having men's sixes and women's sixes pre-COVID, which is contact at the line. There's a blocker. It's a pass-only league. And there's 6 people on the field, obviously. When COVID happened and all we were doing was playing in I-flag tournaments, all we were playing is fives. And I know that became the international game with IFAF. So like that's all Top Shelf in particular wanted to play, because it didn't make sense for us to play sixes and then go to a tournament and play fives. And like, it's just not the same. It's not copacetic. So Tough came back with the fives. They ran about 5 seasons of that, which was really fun. And Air Raid picked it up at mine and Turbo's request, which was really nice of them. And we've been running with them ever since. This is now their 13th season, I think, 12th season. and it's their biggest one yet. There's going to be 15 teams. So I think just having a platform in order for women to play has been huge. And like as adults, I've seen a lot of these teams come and join Air Raid and Tough as new teams where these women have never played flag because they didn't get to grow up in this day and age of playing. And it's just been a good landing spot for so many people. And it's just been good for the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
So so 13, 14, 15 all women teams in the next season will be really awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unheard of almost.
Yeah, almost definitely. And it's there's like an A and B division now, right?
Yeah, so they've now split it up into D1, D2. And so that way the D1 teams play each other and the D2 teams play each other. We still have to cross each other because there's just not enough of D1 and D2 in order to make that 8-week season. So like we still play other teams and and some D2 teams are gonna have to play some D1 teams, but like we consider that like big learning steps. Like you're gonna see what a D1 team looks like and how they operate, and I think that's huge, and you can take something from that every single time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, it's cool that you guys didn't have to like stop playing together in order for the league to grow. Like you guys are able to just like the competition's getting to your level. Like they are competing with you guys. You guys aren't blowing every team out every time, right?
Right. So I think that was a big thing for us. Like when we first started, this was the best way we could have ever had a chance to practice before going to tournaments. And so you guys know this, and we all know your guys' schedule is that any tournament we made was, 3 months apart, 6 months apart, whatever it was. And then we'd see each other 2 weeks beforehand and be like, hey, is everybody free this Saturday? The whatever, can we all meet for practice? And you'd get a handful, it was always going to be best situation, right? 7, 8, 9, 6 girls, whatever it could be done. And then we'd get to games at tournaments, and that would be the first time I'd see somebody in 6 months. And that was the first time we were running this play in 6 months. And so it was just not this, it was hard. It's hard to be good when you do that. So for us, we took league as like, this is our practice reps for tournaments. And so that was really important for us to stay together. And I know that there's like always people are like, oh, if you guys, branched out, like we've talked about it. We've talked about splitting ourselves for league down the middle in order to have some competition. And it's just not something we're willing to do right now. But like we've definitely talked about it. Like median age of Top Shelf is 34 years old. Like we're not getting any younger. So like we can add some new kids in, we can teach them what we know, and so on and so forth. But it also has made other teams like, you got to build a team to compete, and that's important to us too. We don't ever take anything easy.
Yeah, one time you guys were so desperate for practicing, you asked me to practice with you guys.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
really.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I mean that's
Did he have
truly,
did he
like,
have sleeves?
I was wearing sleeves, but no shoes.
I don't
didn't
think
have
you
any
shoes. I don't
shoes.
think you had your
Psycho.
shoes. Yeah, you didn't have any shoes on, and I was like, that
All right,
stresses me
Becca,
out.
I have an important question for you, Becca. When
Okay.
you're at the gym working out, do you wear shoes?
Hold on, that's
No. Pretty simple question. It's
You're
a
not
yes
gonna
or a
like my
no.
answer. Well, because I don't go to the gym.
No.
I go to like a Pilates kind of thing, so we don't wear shoes.
That's different, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's okay. Yes, yes,
Is
yes.
it different?
All right,
Hold
well,
on, what?
Hold on.
That's why
Why? Why? Okay, go ahead, Jacob. You ask your questions, and then I'll step in.
If you were going to go to Planet Fitness to go
I'm
work
wearing
out,
shoes. In Planet Fitness, I'm wearing
thank you,
shoes. There might be
100%.
pizza on the
Thank
floor.
you. Pizza.
Number one.
See, and there you are
Did
walking
you
around
say
your cheese. What? Yeah, pizza on the floor. They do pizza, and it's pizza and donuts, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. Because it's judgment free, sucker.
Yep.
Now.
Facts.
Okay. You can walk around in your Cheese Whiz socks, or you can put your canes on, you psycho.
Number one, I will not work out at Planet Fitness because I need some. I need some. But okay, Becca, correct me if I'm wrong.
Here we go.
But when working out, it is better for your joints to be without shoes.
Okay, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know that. First off, you're like,
whatever you read on the
Becca,
50th line on Reddit.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. But I will say this: I did take my shoes off a lot during my PT for my knee because it felt better. But that was like in a controlled environment. I'm not taking my shoes off when I go to the someone was like, go to this CrossFit with me. I'd be like, shoes on for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Ants over here
but
letting
again,
them dogs hang
I'm
out.
I'm also not. I will tell you. Let me explain to you because again, Jacob's like he's making it out to be that I'm literally like I walk in the door with no shoes. I'm going through the locker room with no shoes. No, none of that stuff is
In the
happening.
sauna with a bunch of
Literally,
old men, no shoes.
don't get me started about the sauna. So first off, I get a mat. I still have my shoes on. I get a mat. I put the mat down on the ground.
They're gone.
When I put the mat down on the ground, I take my shoes off. All right, and I'm now stretching. I'm getting ready for my leg day. So I'm doing 90-90s. I'm hip flexors, all of those things. Getting all my joints activated. All right. Then I put my shoes back on. I put the mat away. I go to the platform where I'm going to do deadlifts, or I go to the squat rack, depending on the leg day. And then when I've got all the weights set up on the bar, then my shoes come back off. Okay? And then for 5 sets, my shoes are off. And then for the rest of the time, I have shoes on. All right? So, like...
And time. Okay, for 43 seconds, you just lied to us. Now keep going.
I did.
I was like, how do I have this conversation? Like, I was like, do I need to write this down somewhere?
Yeah,
has the shoes, doesn't have the shoes, has the shoes, doesn't have the shoes. Like,
there's a lot going on.
I just feel like Jacob just painted a crazy picture about me that I'm like, have no shoes, like. But okay, specifically for deadlifts and squats, Becca, I know there's meatheads that play in air raid. Like, ask them about those exercises. It's better to do those exercises without shoes.
They're gonna think I'm like trying to flirt with them if I have to ask them a question that's not about football.
Shoot your shot.
Maybe. We'll think about it. It's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll try. We'll send
it's fine. You know what? I wish that. Oh, you know what? J-Day, help me out. J-Day, he's on the chat right now. J-Day, I know you work out. You do deadlifts, squats. You take your shoes off, right? Come on, bro. The best CD in the world. I know he's got my back. Let's see what he says. I don't know. I'm just saying. I just feel like I'm not the only person in the gym not working out or working out with.
You can talk about your being a barefoot bandit or whatever you want to call it. Let's keep rolling here.
Barefoot bandit.
Yeah, can we talk about some flag football stuff, Jacob?
Yeah, Ant.
Becca.
Becca.
Happy to be here.
Becca, is there a specific? We don't want to jump into other topics before. Is there something you want to bring up? Any specific topic before we keep it moving?
No, I asked you guys that question this morning. I said, is there something I should like refresh my memory on? Do I need to look up some stats on something? Do I need to watch film? And Jacob said, I don't know. And I said, okay, so I'm fine. I'm ready to talk about whatever comes off the little domes over here.
Okay, all right.
I think.
All right, just want to make sure, Jacob. You ready? You got the rule book quiz ready for her? Let's see how she does.
Rule book quiz is crazy. I will tell you this though: if you go for one and a penalty happens, you still have to go for one, even if you call a timeout. I can't change it to 2. Thanks, Jacob. I learned that.
Anytime.
Sicko.
You know what? No, you know what's so funny about like the extra points? It's for some reason players think that like the whole world shifts when it's an extra point. The extra point is still part of the game. Like like you hear all these. oh, you can't do this on an extra point. You can't go under center. You can't throw a forward pass. Like it's like crazy the things
Yeah.
that players come up with. I don't
No,
know.
I feel like that's a pretty common, like, I mean, maybe it's not common, but like a penalty happened, so we were going to retry it. And I wanted to call the timeout to be like, okay, now I want to declare to go for 2. And like, in my brain, I'm like, okay, that makes sense because you can declare for 1 and then be like, shoot, we really need the 2, timeout, like burn the timeout, go for 2, whatever. And love me some Avery. She was like, no, baby, no. And I was like, that makes sense in my brain. And she's like, sure, but it's not true. And I was like, fine, that's true. She's like, fine. But it does, and like, so yeah, having it explained to me was fine, but it does also in my brain, I'm like, yeah, I'm willing to burn a timeout right here and like declare for 2. If you're gonna make me retry it, like, might as well retry for more points from the 6 with the penalty included, with the penalty yards.
I understand the thought process.
Yes,
and I do get that. I think the thought behind the reason you can't is because a play did occur. So we
that's
have to.
what she said.
Yeah, we have to enforce from that play.
No, and that makes perfect sense. And like explaining it to me, and you actually, I think all 3 of us ended up talking like afterwards, because even Katura was a little like, I don't see why you can't. Like you know, you want to burn a timeout, like, and I'm like, yes. Right. We have 3 aired out, which is more, 1 more than I'm used to having. So I'm like, yeah, burn it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, Jimmy, go over 2. Yeah, I thought that, but my logic makes sense, I'm gonna say, but I understand why it doesn't. So that was a cool thing to learn. I learned that this year.
There you go.
Yeah. Katura totally is like go with the flow kind of ref though. She's like, yeah.
She was like, Becca, that does make sense. I'm gonna gas you up, and I was like, yeah, Avery. She was like, no, but it was great, and that was a cool thing to learn. I understand why that has to happen that way, but it was definitely cool to learn. So thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. No, I mean, I think I've said this to you, Becca. I always appreciate a player like you that actually reads the rule book, and it's like I said, for me in my history of officiating, you challenging me really made me want to be better, and hopefully that's what officials get from a player that actually knows the rules. The frustrating part is when players say like the most absurd things and you're like, you're wrong, and then they want to spend 15 minutes clogging up that field, talking with the ref. Right. Then they want to bring Jacob over. Then it becomes all this stuff, and it's like, if you just read the rule book, you would know that all of this could have been avoided. So right. There's very different. So I mean, sometimes though, I think that's where refs if they don't know this player knows the rules, the assumption is, 98% of players don't know the rules because they don't read them. So
right, that makes sense. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Becca always cracks me up because they're always legit questions, and it's always something dumb that's happened, and something dumb that's been said to her, and I'm like, not the one.
That's always my favorite thing, is that someone says something dumb to me and I'm like, actually, we should call Jacob now. I'm like, actually, that was funny though. Yeah. I also think, Jacob and I became friends because people had so many questions about the seismic helmet that I ended up wearing. And that was 100%. Literally our running joke for like 3 years. I've worn that thing for 4 years now. That people were like, she can't play in that. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I actually think you all should be playing in one. I actually think it's worse off that you're not. So what's going on? But I genuinely, I feel like I've made a ton of ref friends over the last couple tournaments too. Like, I've even had refs be like, we didn't see you at the last tournament. And I was like, oh yeah, sorry, I was gone. I was doing something else actually for once in my life. And that's been really cool. And I just feel like I can ask them questions. And to Anthony's credit, I have become a lot calmer in the way in which I approach things. I always feel even worse when like coaches on other teams don't know. And I'm like, I'll say something and I'm like, oh yeah, you actually can. And like, I'm not talking to you. And I'm like, well,
Cool.
You're lost. You're gonna get a penalty. Whatever. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Penalize. I'm like, penalize him now. Thank you. I was gonna let it go for one.
Now let's do 2.
Yeah, I'm like, now you've annoyed me. You can penalize him. That's fine. Yeah, no.
How do you feel like that like the community, because I know men's flag, women's flag, it can be very different in a lot of ways, but how do you feel like that community of coaches and team, you see the same teams all the time, like is it we're cool until the coin toss, or is there a little bit of like yeah, you know, we can still be cool during the game, like we're not gonna be crazy to each other?
I think that it like comes and goes. I don't want to say that like we're all out there trying to kill each other, but I definitely think that like I have friends on other teams and we're cool before the coin toss, just to let you know it's going to be competitive from here until the next 24 minutes. And then we can be cool after. But and then there's definitely teams where I'm like, hey, we're cool and I don't like you nearly as much. So like the next 24 minutes are probably going to be pretty intense, but like we'll be cool after in a little bit. But like I think I wish women were a little bit better about this. So like it's not 98% of the time, like whatever's happening is not personal. And so they're like, you threw my flag really far, or like whatever it was. And then it like that carries with them after the game. And they're like, you're the worst person in the world because you didn't hand me my flag back one time on like a whatever thing. And I've seen it in league and like tournaments, whatever. And then they think that this person is just the worst person in the world. And the next time they go to the tournament, they're like, she threw my flag and she's got to be an awful human being. And they're probably just a completely normal human being. And like, we don't know because that's the way our brains work. And so I sometimes wish there was like a little, like definitely gamey in the game. And then like, I high five everybody after the game. I'm a high fiver, a hugger, like whatever. I like wipe the last 24 minutes from my brain and I'm like, you bought a house? Like, how's your job? Like, you got a girlfriend? Like, what's going on? Like, how's your life? And people are like, no, you threw my flag, so you're the worst person ever. I can't talk to you. Like,
You
okay.
threw my flag. You kill little puppies. I
Yeah,
know you.
it's like A to Z right there. And so I think that like I would like it from both sides too. Like I want someone to be super gamey with me, and then like after the game, like let's chop it up. Like it is what it is. I think boys are much better at that. There's always going to be some things too where like I'm like, ooh, that actually wasn't cool. Like someone took me out from behind and I like slammed my face into the ground. I'm sure we've seen the video of my like rumble tumble of that catch down in San Diego.
Mhm.
Like we were not chopping it up after that. Like I wasn't having a great time. I wasn't having a great time with that. So like there's definitely a line, obviously, but I think
Sure.
there's a good threshold of like 30% of it should just be gamey. Like we should all be cool afterwards.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now I completely disagree with you though. I think the women are much better than the men are.
You
But
do?
that's
Yeah, I
just
Okay.
agree.
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
the guys take things so much more personally. You call them a word, and like all of a sudden,
And they're throwing
we're ready to
bananas.
they're throwing bananas. They're
Yeah.
going bananas, throwing bananas.
I missed the
Oh
beginning
my
of that
gosh.
story, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe in league I see it a little bit more because like the guys all I like they cross teams and they jump, they're all
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're friends outside of it. So maybe I see it there. So like and I will be super honest, I don't see a lot of the men's play at tournaments because we're also playing. So like I very hardly sit down and watch like a men's format start to finish. So I can't really
Right.
say or see to that. So maybe. But yeah, that's just how I feel about like there's gonna be gamey things. Like we're cheering for our team at the top of our lungs, like, yeah, touchdown, and people are like, that's against us. And I'm like, is it? Is it or is it just for us? Like, or is it just for
Right.
us? And we seem to have a hard time with that.
It's so funny because every time you say gamey, like I think of like my brain goes to hunting, and I'm
Yeah.
That's
like thinking
exactly
about
where I'm
like
at. I'm thinking of
Because I
like
don't want to
food.
say like I don't want to say like chippy because I don't think it's chippy. I think it's I'm in the game. Like I'm like Lizzie scores a touchdown and I'm like yeah like and like some people think that that's like against them. Like I don't
yeah.
think that.
Yeah.
It's a for us thing and like not an against you thing. And I think that sometimes the personal aspect of it, they're like that's against, that screen was against us. And it's like, oh no, like it wasn't, like
Yeah.
we just be yelling.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, well, and I just think in general, Becca, you are a very passionate person, and so like it's not even just like you celebrate your teammates, but you also like you you rip your teammates a new one as well, and so I think that a lot of times people, if they just looked at you during those 24 minutes, they would be like, oh, she's just intense, she's just competitive,
She's
because
just
then
gamey.
yeah, she just gave me.
Mm, yeah.
Sounds weird
Definitely.
saying.
Yeah, no, definitely don't need to like rip my teammates anything new anymore. That's totally, but like that was definitely a growth period for like all of us. That was us learning at the same time. So there's 10 people learning the game right at the same time and
Yeah.
stuff. And there's always a differentiation of like who knows what and who's got this and that and stuff. So I think, yeah, that was definitely I don't want to say a misconception, but people are like, oh, like that's what she's probably like. And I'm like, in real life, I'm like trying to read a book. I'm working on a sewing project right now. Like I'm like, I like so different in that like, and I just don't think we differentiate that well enough. And like, if you don't want to like me on the football field, that's cool. Like I could probably agree with you. I probably don't like a lot of people on the football field. Like Ice Calhoun pissed me off the last time we played them. Do I like him as a person? Absolutely. Am I gonna hug him the next time I see him? Absolutely. But like that's just that is what it is. Like we let that lie there, and I think that's the difference. But people are like, she's probably insane, and I'm like, not really. I'm trying to finish a book and an apron. So
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I also want to say though, just what Top Shelf has done, like the fact that you guys have been able to keep your core and build and travel and like you guys started I don't know if you guys started playing rec or comp, or there wasn't even rec and
there
comp at
wasn't
the
even
time.
rec. There wasn't even
Yes.
rec at the time we started.
So,
Yeah.
but you guys have very much with the same core built into a pro team, and like it's been really cool to like your guys' team is one of like my favorite to just watch and just hang out on the sideline, and but also stay out of your way when things are getting intense. Like it's still
yeah, I mean, I think you saw us come back on that play against ASU in the Vegas tournament. We threw a pick six, and Macy took it down. She picked it off from end zone to end zone. She took it down. She scored, put them up by 4. And then we proceeded to stop the extra point, which was nice. Not that it would have only been 5, so it doesn't really change a lot about scoring a touchdown. But I mean, Amanda and I just kind of Turbo and I just looked at each other on the sideline, like we've been here, we've done that, and that takes a lot of core presence of like seeing the same things or having things happen to all of you that like very much becomes like an identity for us. And so that was huge. So we just marched down and scored in the last minute, and like we knew exactly what was going to happen, get out of bounds. We're calling plays that like led us there, and I think that helps us in that sense. And if it didn't lead us there and we needed to eat up the middle, then I'm calling a timeout. Like the girls, and that's everybody. That's everybody. There's 5 people in the huddle being on the same exact wavelength and same page. And I think that is a testament to just having stayed together for so long.
Yeah, no,
Definitely.
absolutely. Yeah, and I mean that's another like aspect of the difference between like men's and women's is like that is completely unheard of with men's teams don't stay together more than like a year and a half. I feel like that's got to be the
Not
shelf
anymore.
life.
I think we followed the blueprint. I mean, I'm gonna give them the credit because they have helped us so much. But like Runnin is our guys. Like Runnin has stayed together. It's Brendan and Aaron and Dash and Chuck and the twins and Calhoun and Vi, and like there are a couple rotating pieces. There's always going to be people can make stuff, people can't make stuff, but like they're a core that we very, very, very much look up to. And they helped us a ton when we were getting started. And we saw what could be possible. And they've won multiple world championships over the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
no, for sure. I mean, and in a lot of ways, I know that they had Nick in 4s in Tampa, but in a lot of ways, they've avoided the whole let's just build a mega team. We're going to stick with our guys. And they, like the 2 years ago, they want to air it out. There was
Yeah.
that was not a super team. Those were
Nope.
the guys on Ronin that won that championship. And so yeah, it is it's impressive to see for sure.
Yeah, so definitely something we've like wanted to mold ourselves after. And then again, it takes care and it takes a lot of communication and the give and take of, I don't want to say keeping people happy, but falling into your role and playing your role and knowing that your role is good enough on a 10-man roster. And that's something
Mm-hmm.
we're really proud about.
What do you how do you feel egos come into play for women's flag football? Because we know with guys like the ego is the biggest issue, and that's why teams don't stay together.
Do you mean, do I think women have egos, or do I like how does like teams combat that? Or, what do I see when I see egos like colliding on teams? I guess
Yeah,
all of
you
the
can
above.
answer all of those questions. Yeah, those were all good follow
Yeah,
up questions.
I was just curious, like which direction you wanted me to take. I guess one, women can have egos. I think women are great, and you should have a little chip on your shoulder that you're the best out there.
Mm-hmm.
But two, I I guess I maybe when I see an ego on a team, it usually ends up being in a result of, and I want to, not in the worst way, it's going to end up being like someone with a bad attitude. And that's
Mm-hmm.
going to shift the focus of the team a little bit where, you can have an ego and be the most supportive, like you're clapping for everybody, you're screaming for your teammates, like whatever it is. But sometimes when you see that ego go unchecked and they don't want to be part of like the play or the process, or don't want to do their role, because they either think that they're better than a teammate or they're better than another team, then you kind of see that turn sour. And I think it turns people off. And so watching that happen live time basically just takes teams out of like the runnings, right? Like we've all seen it happen. There's no specific instance I can think of, but like we've all seen it happen. So I don't know. I think that's something every team has to mitigate that in their own way. And again, like, if you're a good core and there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of you who want to stay together, then you're picking people who are on board with that and playing their role and are good with playing the 10 people that they are, and they're not chomping at the bit or talking shit on the sidelines like, oh, I can't believe that like she missed that, like I wouldn't have missed it, like I'm gonna go in, like whatever, I'm pulling you, I'm yanking you, like whatever it is. And then two, if that's the case, then like you have a heart to heart conversation, like that those actions aren't acceptable, like this isn't what we want and this isn't how we want to move forward, and that person can make that choice, like to stay or go, like get better or worse.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And that's rare nowadays. People avoid confrontation. People are afraid of it. People don't want to keep someone in check. I mean, you'll see, and usually it's once things have boiled up to a head where it's not a not a approachable moment, you
Right.
see the inner teams fight and stuff like that. And I have a lot of times where folks will see, teammates that are shouting, cussing, and fight, and they're getting ready to fight, and they're like, "What are you gonna do about that?" I'm like, "They're teammates. I ain't getting in the middle of that."
Yeah.
And I just I think that's just where the game, that's just where our culture's at. I think accountability is at an all-time low. I think egos are at an all-time high. Not
Yeah.
everybody's top shelf. So
Yeah, and we're not perfect. Like we've
no,
obviously
but it
had our
happens.
disagreements, we've had our arguments, we've had our, I don't want to say like we've not had like drag down fights or anything like that, but like there's definitely, I think, in sticking with this team, and I think every one of us can attest to this, like having the hard conversations with each other, knowing that it's with love, has made all of us better humans. I am so
Yep.
much more apt at work to be like, actually, like, can we do this instead of that? Like, whatever it is, and approaching things just so much easier. But like, I have to hold myself accountable. Like, I can't shout at my teammates. Like, it is what, like, that's just unacceptable. Like, that's not what we want to do. And so everybody's growth from there has been huge. But that's a choice we're each making every single time we step on the field, and we choose to play with each other and choose to treat it like that. So I think you're right, Ant. Like egos, or Jacob, egos at an all-time high and accountability at an all-time low. But like if you're a true leader, like you're gonna be accountable. Like
Yep.
I'm our center. Sometimes I forget that we're gonna go on two. Like sometimes I just be forgetting. Luckily, I'm the person with the ball, so it's fine. Like at the end of it. But there are tons of film. There are tons of film where Amanda's like shaking her head in the background, and I'm like mid route, and I'm like, I forgot, I will remember next time. Like, and I'm like, mommy, your ball. Like, and like hilarious. Like, we've caught it literally on film where I'm like, here's the ball. Like, and she's like, I wanted it, not right now. And I'm like, my bad. Like halfway through my route, like it is what it is. Like, you just have to humble yourself, and I think that's just something we've taken pride in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find
you
one
guys
of those for you guys.
Also, you guys you guys hang out outside of football as well, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
so tell me about the group chat. Is that where you guys like hash things out, or is that just a complete nothing to do with flag football?
No, the group chat is pretty much all flag, and then like all of our birthdays and like people's celebrations and stuff. Yeah. So luckily for us, like we are all friends outside of football, and we like a lot of us have been in each other's weddings. We've been to each other's baby showers, birthdays, everything in between. So I think it always goes one-on-one first. Like whoever kind of has the like not beef, but whatever the mishap was, that gets settled, or it tries to get settled, and then Amanda and I step in as co-managers, and like we'll say like, okay, like we understand, or like this was acceptable, but this was not, and we kind of facilitate from there. But a lot of times it gets squashed individually and like just within each other, and then it's presented like, and sometimes it's not even presented to the team. Like sometimes it's like, hey, like Lizzie's my best friend. So I'm like, hey, like Lizzie and I hashed out. I like yelled at her about a route, and she was like, don't talk to me like that. And like after the game, it was like, hey, like I didn't need to do that. She was like, you're right. But she is like, I also forgot that I was supposed to do this. And so we're both taking accountability, and then hugging, high fiving, and we're all good. I'm not like involving the rest of the team to be like, I yelled at Lizzie, but Lizzie did this. And Lizzie's like, yeah, like it's just easy for us.
Yeah. Yeah, also a big difference between men's and women's flag
Mhm.
football.
Big
It
time.
just I can remember the like group chats that I was involved in Colorado, and like somebody would leave the group chat, and like you would
Oh
have to beg
no.
them, just like
No
it's
one's
just
leaving the group chat.
such a
Can't
Yeah.
be leaving
such
the
a
group chat.
mess. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just
That's silly.
yeah, it's great. Like and I ran a team for a number of years, and I just saw all the ins and outs of egos and all of that stuff, and yeah, it can turn into a mess. And so yeah, I think women's flag is like centuries ahead of what men's flag
It's
could be.
capable of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, speak a few other things just to touch on. Speaking of women's flag, what did you hear the news about the NCAA? They're now. It's weird when they announce things because they're like, this is going to happen, but we don't know when. But the biggest news is they're saying now there's going to be a championship for all three divisions. They're saying spring of 2028 is what I heard.
Okay.
So how are you feeling about just where the NCAA is with flag football right
Well, one, I think I obviously want to say like kudos to them, because that's a huge deal and a step that like they're willing to take. I think I'm a little, I don't even want to say hesitant. There's so much um one, Title IX, so like having it at a school like where it's needed, or needs to have like they need to cut a male program in order to add one, is kind of like forefront of my mind. It's the second thing too, like the NIL kind of making everything messy with like how
now?
much money goes to each program and everything else. So I'm just like curious, but I think I don't want to say like follow the money, because that's not the right term I want to use, but it's like follow the hype kind of. And I think NCAA is like finally realized like women's flag is what has progressively pushed flag football forward, because
Mhm.
there is no counterpart for us. And I think I've explained that like to,
Um,
I don't want to say like commoners, but like when people ask me like why is women's flag just so much bigger, and it's
Commoners,
because there is no
peasants.
male. Yeah, like, well, I think like my family members who don't really know or like anything, there's no male counterpart to us. Like, to be the best at flag football is to make the national team at this level. But for the male side of football in the general sense, like there's the NFL, right? Like every kid gets to play Pop Warner, tackle football at the age of 6, and then they can continue on and get paid lots of money to go play at college and then get paid lots of money to play in the NFL. There is no counterpart for that for the women's side. So for us, in order to do all these things, was to progressively, one, get better and have professional athletes as flag football players, and two, where are we going to play? And I think that's what's really driven all of that. So like I think the NCAA is following the hype, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Do I have a clue what it'll look like? No, not at all. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Jacob, I think you brought this up a few weeks ago. The teams that have been the powerhouses and the teams that we've seen, whether
Oh,
it's
going
NAIA
away.
or JUCO, they're all going to be gone. All the
Gone.
club teams,
Yeah.
all the
Correct.
like
Correct.
all of that stuff's going to go away. But they were there, and they had, just like you said, they helped push the sport. I mean, I can't remember, I can't think of her name right now, but there was a young lady that played both in high school, played both soccer and flag football, and she was considered like one of the top flag football players a few years back. Well, there was no really great offers in college, so she just went and played soccer at like Tennessee or something like that. And
Right.
to think though that we're like, that's gone now. If somebody in high school like McKenna Cook, she
Correct.
plays soccer and flag football, she probably is going to play wherever she wants to for flag football and get a full ride scholarship. Like
Correct.
that's what's going to happen. And so that it's exciting to see the difference in such a short period of time.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's just been
Yeah.
awesome. But do I think it's going to have its own challenges? Sure. Could I tell you exactly what they are? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the game is moving so fast that like at this point we can just be hypothetical about a lot of things and come up with theories, and then in 6 months we're going to be like, whoa, look what just happened. Like this is
Yeah.
crazy, you know? I mean, I think like that Fiesta Bowl that they had, a month or two ago,
Yeah.
like none of us knew that something like that was going to come around, and it happened, and it was like, oh, this is such a cool production. And we had Emma Clark on, and she was like, this was like,
Yeah.
we got greeted at the airport, like, we had our own like team area, like all this stuff, which like for like tackle football players, they're so
Normal.
used to all this stuff.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
it's
that's
like,
normal. Yeah.
yeah, but for women's flag football players, they're like, this is amazing that we're finally getting some of that, some of that treatment, that star treatment.
Right.
So
The recognition. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited to see it grow. So it'll be nice.
yeah, for sure. So probably the kind of the last thing I want to talk about is Worlds is going to be in your backyard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm tired of flying cross country. I'm so excited.
I mean, what's the feeling around Southern California about the fact that like we get the behemoth in LA now?
Yeah, I mean, so two things. Well, one, I think we're excited to not travel to Tampa for a 5th year in a row. So thanks to you guys for that.
Wait a minute, you're not
but-
gonna come to nationals?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, you guys know
You can
us. Like,
reject me.
what's the farthest top shelf has ever gone? And like, this isn't a knock to you guys, but the furthest we've ever gone is that San Antonio tournament, and we were like dying of heat stroke, and one of our things got canceled, and we played men's, and it was like crazy, and we were like, I'm never coming to San Antonio again. I was like, I can't breathe. But two things. I think one, there are. I don't want to say this negatively, but like, there are not nearly as many SoCal teams that travel the way Top Shelf and Runnin do. The way I feel like the Florida teams, the Texas teams, the DMV, and the New York area teams travel, like the Tri-City area teams. So I'm excited to hopefully see us represent ourselves a little bit better because it's in our backyard, and because Arid has done such a good job growing the game here, and we've got so many teams. And so I think I'm excited to see us represent a little bit better. I'm like a little nervous that you guys put it in Ontario in like the end of July because it's going to be like 100 degrees, and I'm like, we're just going from one extreme to another. So excited to see how that plays out for everybody. But I'm hoping that people find the time to come. I mean, it's
Yeah.
LA for all of
Yeah.
like what that's worth. So what
Yeah.
are you guys looking forward to most with it changing?
I think it's just a different scenery. I'm looking forward to not, 5 different days of 5 different weather, patterns.
So true.
I think that's going to
So
be
true.
something exciting to look forward to. But I think it's going to be a good time. I really do. I
Yeah.
think, from what I've seen with the complex and stuff, like the rendering, because I think they're completing it either this year or like it's either like in the summer or like late this year that's being completed.
Yeah.
But everything looks really cool with what they're doing. It, and plus I think to your point, a lot of folks have said, "Oh, well, people aren't going to go." I said, "No." I said, "I think we're going to go from an overwhelming amount of Florida teams
Sure.
to an overwhelming amount of California West Coast teams."
Right.
And I don't mean that in overwhelming in a bad way.
No.
I think
No.
it's just gonna you're just gonna see that shift. It's not gonna
Correct.
even, you'll still have a bunch of Florida teams that travel, just like there's still a fair amount of teams from the West Coast that travel.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see a little bit of a different dynamic.
Okay. Ant, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah,
SoCal is like my second home away from home. So, to me, Colorado's my original home. That's where,
away from
I,
home.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
said your
because I'm
second
not
home
in
away from
Colorado.
home. So it's
Yeah,
your home away from home, but California's your
yeah.
home away from home away from
Second,
home.
yes,
That's what
exactly.
I just
Twice
said.
removed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Keep going.
So,
Anyways, don't interrupt.
I
Keep going.
just no, and the time that I did get to spend, like, officiating in air raid and tough and on the clock sports and just all of the team. I mean,
Shout
I've
out.
got some I've got some really cool friendships that I made there and bonds with people and in that area and through those leagues. And so anytime I get to go back there it's always good for me. I feel like I'm just like, oh wow, these people actually remember me, like they talk to me. Because like when I go back to Colorado, I'm literally like this.
What do you
Like
what do
I
you
don't
what is that? Like, what are you
I'm just
hiding by
like
doing that?
I'm just like
What are
like
you, Batman?
yeah, something. It's just it's different. I don't Colorado, I just feel like there was I don't know, just in general, I didn't build those kind of relationships in flag football. Like I had my team. We were the only team traveling for the longest time, and everyone in Colorado hated us. And so when I go back to Colorado, they're kind of like, "Oh, there's Ant again," blah blah blah. Whereas like when I go to when I go to California or I see all the people from Southern California, they're like, "Ant, we're so glad to have you back. Like we miss you. We wish you were still here. This and that." And it's just it's a good feeling. So I'm
Imagine being
excited for
hated
that.
by a square state.
I know, right? It's crazy.
All 4 corners hate you, man. How do you feel about that?
All four corners.
Hey, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like we had success and what is the saying you always say, Jacob, about crawling and then walking or
Wait, what?
what? Like
I was
my
gonna say
team
sucks to
crawled,
suck. What? Your team
my
crawled
team,
so the rest could walk? Yes.
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
always
So
say
I,
that.
yeah, oh, you say that any chance you can get, you say that, bro.
Okay.
That's one of your top three sayings of all time for sure.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I have another question
With
for you
the
guys.
Hold on.
duck on
Hey,
water.
hey. First of all, don't interrupt our guest. Go ahead, Becca.
There's a duck on
When you
water
guys
quote.
are like actually having to ref at a tournament, who
Yeah.
are some of your favorite refs to ref with?
Mm,
Jacob rep this past weekend.
I did ref
Jacob,
this
you ref
past
this past.
weekend.
What
I
happened?
did ref. I didn't have enough referees. If I'm at an I flag tournament or like a bigger tournament that I'm running, if I'm refereeing, it means something's happened.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, I'm biased. Jordan, the logo is my favorite to ref with. I ref with him all. That's about the
Yeah,
only person when I would go out. He's number one.
sure.
Let's see who else. Lance is zero fun. He's just cranky and yells. Um, let's see. Who else? Who else? Who else? Tim's loud. He's fun.
Okay.
Ant tries to outrun you the whole time, so he's no
Not
fun.
tries, sir.
No,
Not tries.
okay.
I
Well, you don't
succeed.
you don't ref anymore, so you don't. It doesn't count. Let's see who else. Who else? I'm trying to think of who else I've worked with. Because unfortunately, like a lot, like the West Coast
No,
folks, I
yeah.
haven't had any opportunity to like really work with them.
I
Like
was just
actually get on the
curious.
field with them. Yeah, that's a good question. Ant, go ahead. Who's your favorite? And tell them why it's me.
uh, yeah. So, yeah, the tournament that me and Jacob got a ref at was a lot of fun. That was
Yeah.
really cool. And then at some point, I challenged him to a race, and he didn't know it, and I beat him. So that was cool.
Looked
Um,
up and all of a sudden just
so Becca, here's the thing that I would do. So, in a two-man crew, you got one ref on the line of scrimmage and ref in the goal line area, doing the rush line. That so if I was at the rush line and an interception happened, my goal was to beat the line of scrimmage ref down the field to
Down.
the other goal line.
Got it. Got it.
And
didn't even
and
know it. Missed
any
all the penalties behind us, but we
it
got
doesn't
beat. We
matter.
beat him to the
Yeah.
line.
At
Becca
that
wants her
point,
foul back there from
Doesn't
50
matter.
yards. What are you
There's
doing?
no, and we want to take the results of the play anyways, so it doesn't matter.
You know, exactly.
exactly.
We don't
Yeah.
have fouls.
Yeah.
So
It's and so I was undefeated in all of those races that I didn't tell anyone they were participating in. So it
I
was
mean,
don't
a
shake
win's
your
a
don't
win.
shake your head, Jacob.
I feel
I beat you,
cheated,
bro.
exposed.
A win's a win, though.
Yeah, right.
Don't
But I would say I feel
don't
like
support that,
there
Becca.
was she totally was like
I know
that.
she's like,
Win's a
I
win.
take the dub.
Yeah. Hey.
um, so I feel like there was a correct me if I'm wrong, Jacob, but there was a point where when I would go to a tournament, I'd be like, put me with all the Mexican officials and put us in
Kind of
amateur.
racist. All right.
Like, but that's who I wanted to officiate with was the
Yeah,
officials from Mexico. It's not racist if they're all from
I was
Are
just
Mexico.
there
joking. Will you
are there
relax?
formats that you like don't want to referee in? Like, are there just formats where you're like, this is a headache? It's like always just a battle. Like, are there formats that are like that? Are there teams specifically? I was trying to be politically correct by saying formats, but that's not
I
what I
mean,
want to know.
no, just for me, I will say men's pro was a headache because, and this is just my opinion. People can think what they want about it. I just think that the men's pro players don't want an official that knows the rules and is strictly enforces them. They would
Correct.
rather have an official that they can manipulate.
Sure.
Um, and
Oh no,
so
Jacob doesn't agree. Okay.
I'd rather work those games. I can those guys. Be, I understand what Ant's saying, and a lot of times they try to bully the officials into calls,
Sure.
and
Okay.
and I'm all for bullying the bullies. So when they start, I like to fire back. Um, so for me, I'd rather do those games than like the amateur games where it's bad
Where they don't
football, but
know.
where everybody knows all the rules, but they really don't.
Right.
So
Okay.
Yeah, and
that's
No,
I
I'm
my
just
just
curious.
mindset.
I don't know. Yeah, women's is like officiating women's is always fun. Like I never had an issue with that. Plus, I do just think that women read the rule book more than men, and so there was a lot. It was a lot easier. That it's a lot more conversation and not being screamed at. Like maybe 1 in 10 games you have a female player cuss at you, whereas with the men's games, it's every single game, every single minute somebody's cussing. Like there's like
I just
and
cuss back.
I'm not. Yeah, and I'm not somebody that cusses. I'm not somebody that like, you know,
You just got
in
to whip out that
that kind of
Webster's
stuff.
dictionary, get some synonyms
So,
going.
I'm just like, but I'm trying, co-ed, I think a lot of officials are like, there's there's extra work to it or whatever. I think once you get into a rhythm with co-ed,
It's fine.
like maybe yeah, it's fine. In the past, when you would have to do like 2 games of fours, 2 games of co-ed, two
Yeah.
games of sixes, like that was really challenging. But you do a block of co-ed, and you're like, ah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, contact's fun because you just close your eyes and you let them do whatever they want, and they're happy, and um, you know, as long
I'm
Just
as
keep
long
the
as they pull their flag, there's no
ju-
penalty.
just keep the downs. That's all you got to do. Keep the downs
Yeah,
and the
that's
times.
keep the keep the downs in the time. And when they start throwing bananas and arguing at each other, the clock continues to run.
Is
It
that
just
filmed
Classic.
up?
does.
That
So
films up on Clocks Running? Just so I can.
it is. It is. You could totally watch the and like
Send
the
that to me later.
conversation of like, what was that? What food was that? Like we're trying to figure
Oh
it
yeah. No, I want that. Yeah, you're gonna send that to me later. For sure. Happy.
one of the directors over the weekend was like, "You need to clip that with the banana being thrown and make a what's the call video for that." Like,
Facts, though. I need to see that happen.
And they would
That was
still
one of
get
my
it wrong.
questions to Jacob. I asked that earlier that I said, like, do you guys mind being tagged in every single one of them? Does it get annoying?
It's impossible situations a lot of times because if you answer the question in my mind, there's times where it's cut and dry. There's no
Yeah.
question, whatever. But then there's always like somebody who had like played in some random backyard league in the middle of like some county no one's ever heard of. And well, this rule doesn't apply to this rule, and this doesn't apply to that, and up is down, and left is right, and orange is green, and no one agrees. And if you say anything, you're just the dumbest freaking person in the world. So a lot of times I don't even comment on them. Or
Okay.
I'll say something obscene or like obscure, like that's completely wrong, and then people think I'm even dumber than what it is, which is fine. Because then when they're at a
yeah.
term and they see me pull up, they're like, "Oh, this idiot," and then I tell them that they're wrong,
Yeah.
and Aunt yelled at me for telling somebody that they were wrong this weekend.
Making you
It
right,
was
though?
Okay, let me just it was so funny. I just happened to be sitting on his golf cart and this Jacob minding his own business is just trying to collect a scorecard. He don't want problems. He don't want
on
the
my
smoke.
eight passenger
None of
golf
that.
cart.
Yeah, he
This
did
thing,
have a
this thing
whole
was,
Well, I
this
limo.
thing was
I've
the wit.
never given a ride. I'm just like always walking everywhere I go. Okay, continue.
I feel like that was a
I
dig. All right, keep going.
continue.
So we roll up and for Jacob's talking to these 2 officials, and of course this player comes running up and he's like, "Oh, did we get this figured out? Do we got it squared away?" Like he's like immediately like like
I'm getting lunch orders,
standing
I
going
think.
on. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You're getting lunch orders. And so then the player describes the situation, and then Jacob's like, well, because at some point the player mentioned not challenging it. Jacob was like, "Did you challenge it?" And he's like, "No, I didn't challenge it." And then he continues to talk, and then Jacob's like, "Well, I want to tell you, this is where you were wrong." That was how he started his response.
I
Let me
mean,
tell you why
And then
you're
he
and
was,
wrong.
did he have like a straight
yeah.
face afterwards? Did he like accept like where he was like was there accountability, Jacob?
No,
No,
absolutely
he didn't
not.
like that. He was told that he was wrong immediately.
Well,
So we
okay,
drive
I
off,
can't
and
help
I'm like,
everybody.
Jacob,
Okay.
yeah, I'm like, you just told that guy. Your first thing you said was, "You're wrong."
I mean, but we
Like,
gotta start off on the right foot. Like here's you're wrong, and I'll explain why. But if you're not gonna take any accountability, then like it's a moot conversation, and like
Exactly.
we should all just not have had this in the
yeah,
first place.
I
I
waste
feel
a
like
lot
I
of
went through
breath.
some. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Go ahead. Good.
No, I went through some like conflict resolution training at one of my previous jobs where it's supposed to be a sandwich, right? You're supposed to do something nice, and then the meat of it is not very nice, and then you get another piece of bread, and
This
that's
is just
nice,
open
and
face.
so
Like he said,
We got open
yeah.
face
face
sandwiches
sandwich.
here.
Like,
You're
here's your
wrong.
sandwich.
Have a
Yeah,
nice
like
day. I said that at the end.
open face, man.
and then and then Jacob was like, well, because Jacob was in a hurry, and actually, I always gotta give Jacob credit in this. He is so patient. He
You are.
listens to players.
You are.
He gives them their time to say everything that they need to say. But in this situation, this guy was just trailing on, and Jacob was like, "I gotta go, bro," and just like drove.
And he wasn't taking any accountability, so Jacob didn't want to waste any more time. So he was like, "Cool, like I gotta
Yeah,
go. You're
Stay
wrong.
blessed, man. We'll
Here's your
see you.
sandwich. Like
Here's your
yeah.
open face sandwich.
here's your open face sandwich. I got
Yeah,
it."
for sure. So no, but I will say the what I love to see with the what's the call videos is if you go through the comment section, you can pick out, you see the names of who legitimate officials are, the ones
Sure.
that are, actually read the rule book, they know what they're talking about. They sometimes actually reference the rule book when they're doing it. They're giving the correct response. When Jacob types in the correct answer, it's not just because he just like randomly said it. Now, when he says
Right.
flag guard and it's like a DPI situation, you like people need to like, bro, there's no flag guard in here. But
Right.
so you see that viewpoint, which is that's the correct answer. We can't argue the facts in this situation. And then you have the player that is so far from that correct answer, but they're gonna live and die on that hill. And
Right.
and you can see like, oh, this is why there are issues in flag football because officials knowing the rules is so far from what players think because they watch the NFL on Sunday and
Right.
they played tackle football in middle school. Like they so they
Right.
just always reference that. So there's a huge gap, and you can see that in the comments. So I think that's interesting to
Yeah,
see.
I was
Definitely got to
curious what
weed
that
through
was
the
like to see it.
nonsense.
Yeah. Okay, flag guard made me think of another question. Wow, I just have so many. How do we feel about the like when people go down to dip and they like the hand goes down to like, steady the dip or
Yep.
whatever it is. How do we I mean, people are like it's not an intentional flag guard I can go like and I'm like, yeah, like okay, like whatever, but like what do we think? What do we
There's
think
that
of that?
All
word.
right. Well, I'm gonna use another example. If somebody hands me this is gonna be a bit of an extreme example. Just to, let me go ahead and lead with that. But if somebody hands me a gun and says it's unloaded, and I point it at somebody's head and I shoot it, and I go, "Oh, I accidentally shot him, or I unintentionally shot and killed him," it still killed him, didn't I?
No, totally. I just
Yeah.
think
So
I just think that scenario comes up time and time and time again. Like we know that like we've seen it, right? We've seen the like
yeah.
push like the kids are learning, right? Like we've seen it, but like that one seems to come up time and time again and people like want to die on this hill that they're like
Mhm.
I'm going down to steady myself like so it's not a flag guard and it's like at that point like we're all on the ground like we're just going to stay down there. Like we're all just going to end up on the ground at this point
Yeah. Yeah.
because
These
I don't
knees
know.
these knees start to dip. I'm not
Yeah,
getting back up.
right. Like, yeah, like we're going down. So like, I'm gonna meet you down there, and like at the end of it, if your hand is like arm is in the way of my flagpole, then like we're just gonna hang out.
The very, very simply put, the rule book only, states, and this is like every rule book I've ever read on it. If a flag guard is obstructing a path to the flags for a defender,
Okay,
so and it's by hand, elbow, arm, knees, toes, everything. Like if something's obstructing a path, like it's a flag guard. So when that hand goes down, I tell people or I tell officials all the time
sure.
when they put that hand down, if somebody attempts to flag and it's on that side, call a flag guard.
Mm-hmm.
Call it rather than don't, because
Okay,
when you don't, you're opening yourself up to more contact, to more collisions, to
sure.
where that's where people start pushing each other over and going, well, when they give themselves up when they dip, which is not a rule,
Sure.
That's where you start having further problems.
Right.
So it's better to just go ahead and nip that in the bud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and at the end of the day, officials aren't there to determine intent. Just like, Jacob talked about murder. I don't know
True.
why he talked about murdering people, but
I just give another
like as a
example.
Yeah.
as
The
a
intention is not there.
as a rusher, right away you get roughing the pass, and you're like, but I didn't mean to touch the
Totally.
quarterback's arm.
Totally.
Cool.
Like it's
Respect.
the same
Yeah.
Apologize to him,
thing,
move on. It's still a foul.
yeah.
Yeah.
Still,
That's fair.
still a penalty just because you didn't mean
I just
to.
feel like I
So
see that one pop up time and time again, and I'm like,
yeah,
please just stop posting this video.
yeah, but it's crazy because the amount of comments of players being like, "Oh, well, they're bracing themselves. It's not a
Oh,
flag
okay.
guard." Oh, okay, so
Just
you
brace
made
yourself
that
and
up in
follow the
your own rule
directive.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I brace myself, it's not a flat guard.
like
It's fine. Okay.
The
So
So
rules does
if I push off of this DV, it's not OPI because I needed to push off of them to catch the ball. Like, like
mm-hmm.
that's true.
So yeah,
Okay. All right. I was just curious what you guys thought.
Yeah. What
yeah.
else you got for us before
Well,
we
yeah. What else you got, Becca?
I feel like, or Jacob, I can't see what I sent you earlier, but I feel like I just had so many random questions about like the silliest stuff.
Yeah.
When's the next iFlag tournament? I guess that's a good question.
Well, that's a fun one.
You don't even know.
Uh Probably not. Supposed to
That's
be
fine.
this weekend,
Oh,
I'm ex-
but
okay.
I'm excited about New York in July.
New York in July is
Yeah.
going to be a good one.
New York
Randall's
in July.
Island.
Yeah,
That's always a fun one.
and then back on the West Coast in
And then we go
September.
to go to the land of
Yeah.
Diago.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we're right back on the East Coast to follow him like 2 weeks later in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
Population me. Um, let's see where else. We go to Orlando after that,
Okay.
and then we're back to Texas.
Okay. I like all those. I mean, that sounds fun. It's a
Yeah.
good year. It's a good end of the year.
It's a good year. It's like a tire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? I have a question for you, Becca. How much has
Okay.
your life changed since being nominated by the fan panel to be part of the iFlag spring team?
First off, wait, to
The
be a part
what?
of what? To be part of the spring team?
Ant has this like
Spring.
secret panel of friends that allegedly are people, and we might it might be the imaginary friends that draw the drawings on the behind him.
What am I a part of that
Just
I
like,
clearly just found out I am?
oh, that's wow.
Are we talking
Okay.
about the channel I'm a part of?
No.
The what? No. Oh no.
Becca.
Okay. So
What are we
he's
talking about?
creating this like special team that everybody's on, but nobody's on. Anybody who's anybody's
Anyway,
on it. Anyways, see,
I made a sweet montage, and your pictures were in the montage.
For
You don't
the
remember that?
for the
spell
Vegas tournament?
montage.
Are we talking about for the Vegas tournament?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that I made like the first iFlag team.
Clock's running.
Yeah, well,
Fox Runnin.
you're
Sorry, Fox
nominated for the
Runnin.
Clocks Running spring team.
Spring
So
team,
basically,
that's what it
each
was.
tournament,
Yeah.
the fan
No,
panel
my life
picks
changed.
a handful.
Yeah, no, that was crazy because I literally texted you and said, "Who the fuck voted for me?" And you were like, "Bro, don't worry about it." And I was like, "Okay, well, they might have gotten it wrong, but I don't think so." Just kidding. No, that was super fun. We played well that tournament. I mean, Jacob's like, "Why are you like this?"
No, this is great. Keep going.
No, we played well that tournament. I think what you caught and what most people saw was literally pure chemistry between Turbo and myself. I think I'm pretty sure you're talking about that crazy catch at the end of the ASU game that like was just not planned. The route was a corner. That's all I can tell you is that once I turned my head to look at Amanda for the corner, sister said, and I said, okay, we're gonna go over there instead. And that was pure chemistry. Like that was pure trust and faith that she like was like. I mean, how is she doing that in the middle of being rushed? I don't know. I'm
I was
like
about to
in
say,
awe.
does she do that during the game? Does she like
No,
throw like no?
no, no. I literally turned for the corner, and my corners aren't like. Don't get me wrong. Cool, I'm a fastish player, but like my corners are not very deep coming out of the center position because I got other things that need to happen first, like hiking the ball in one and not two. And I hit that corner and I'm hitting the corner on the turn. Like I'm looking at her on my break because that's gonna tell me, how much further I need to do anything. And Amanda's like, nah, like she's like, go over there. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna turn this into a post. So I ran the biggest, longest corner post, all because like there was a hand signal and just blind faith. And she put it right where she knew I was going to be. And I went right where I knew that she was going to throw the ball. And I caught it. And we, go up the touchdown or whatever. It was great. So, yeah, my life changed tremendously. It was, the greatest honor. And I just can't believe it happened to me, It was great.
Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I made it with some
No,
pretty
that's
other,
awesome.
like, I mean, I made it with some obviously very good people. Sarah Parker was on it. Like, obviously, like,
Yeah.
I am not knocking to be honored and, associated with other people who are clearly very, very, very good. I think that's huge. But I'm a very normal comp player, so it was pretty great. I was
I
having a great
don't.
time.
Okay,
That's
well,
crazy.
put the
Becca,
put the fork
let me
down
just
for
tell
the humble
you.
pie.
I also
Yeah,
wanted, I wanted to check your
It was
sources.
not one play. It was not one play
It was
that's
two.
like, oh yeah, she caught this pass. Let's just put her on. No. Becca, the whole tournament, you were balling out.
Yeah, it was a great. I actually had a very good tournament. We had a very, very good
Oh,
showing,
okay.
like across the board.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is just kudos to my team, kudos to Turbo. Like that is not, I'm not doing things by myself. Like it's not, like that's not it. So yeah, we did have a very good tournament. We won Air It Out Co-ed, which was very cool. We played in the championship game for Air It Out Pro against the I know they weren't called the Canadian national team there, but
The
whatever they were
Canadian
representing
national team.
as, yeah, whatever they were representing as, is fine. But like we definitely, and we lost that game, but we definitely took away stuff. I mean, Amanda and I watched your film back because that's what we had available, and so that was I mean, that was just a great experience for us. That was a very good tournament. So yeah, I framed the montage, I printed it out in like succession, and I put it in my room.
I
So
love that.
I'm pleased.
That's
I'm excited to see who made it from. I'm excited to see who made it from East Coast Nationals since you said that like that was coming. To see if I recognize anybody, and it was just cool. It was a cool thing.
yeah. Well, the women's were posted yesterday.
I was
From
sorry
East
at a
Coast
concert.
Nationals.
I was dying and
It's
just doing my own thing.
it's fine. You were at Chris Brown Usher
God,
concert.
I wish. No, I wouldn't have go to a Chris Brown concert if my life depended on it. No,
Huh,
I was I was at
cool.
a different concert entirely, so I was off my phone for a hot minute.
Yeah,
But I'll go
it's
take a
okay.
look.
What? What? Who? Wait a minute. Whose concert were you at that you don't want to
I,
mention their name?
I don't. I went to a Florence and the Machine concert.
Oh, okay. That's why you were wearing the flower crown.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Wow, way to really put that together, man.
That's literally perfect. That was accurate, and that was exactly why.
Good job.
Ant gets it. Ant gets it.
I'm
Ant
just,
gets it.
hey, I know some things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you?
So yeah, had a blast yesterday. So I missed. I guess I missed the women's side of who made the team for East Coast Nationals.
It's
It's
not out
okay. It's
yet.
still up. It's
Okay, cool.
no, it is. The women
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
came out
I think you're
yesterday.
gonna have to send me. You're gonna have to send me that. You're gonna have to send me the banana clip after this.
You got a lot to do.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I
got a lot
got
of things to
yeah, I
catch up
got a lot
on.
of work.
Yeah.
Becca, are we ever gonna get the what was the pregame
Pre-game
snap? What was
snap. The
the
pre-game snap.
yeah, are we gonna get that back? Is that can we get the pregame snap?
Yeah, actually, so Turbo and I just talked about this. We want to be, and again, we were only talking about air raid teams, right? So that's a very limited scope of teams and things that are happening. But just dropped we had championships was 2 weeks ago. We had dropped like a couple of like, here's what we think about these teams going into championship weekend, blah blah blah. I again want to put on my like analytical nerd hat. Like I would much rather kind of turn it into like, but I feel like everybody does this. It's like around the world flag, blah blah blah. But I think we're trying to find I don't want to say like our space, but like what do we want to talk about exactly? And what is it that like we're trying to accomplish? Because I think I could mindlessly talk about football for hours if I really wanted to. But I want to like be able to show people things like in a film, like, hey, this is where your window was. Like, you made the defense do this, so you should sit down right here, kind of thing, and like why certain plays work or don't work and why they work against some defenses if not others. Like I think that's what we like want to attempt to have happen. Amanda and I are also real adults and I have a real life job and real life like responsibilities that like it takes time and effort to do all those things. So I think we're not like super, I don't want to say not concerned, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm pressed to send info out into the world. Like I could mindlessly talk into the void. It's what is it that people want to see and know, and like what do I want to talk about? Sometimes I don't want to talk about what other people want to talk about. I want to talk about why everybody misses their extra point. And like,
So talk
why is
about it.
that? Yeah, like why is that? And that's like nerdy and boring, and other people are like, I want to know how to run a corner post just for the fun of it because you went like this. Like, I want to talk about the nitty gritty. The nitty gritty is what made us good, and being good at the nitty gritty little things is what's made us good. So that's not very fun, and it's kind of like analytically nerdy, and I don't think everybody's like in tune with that.
I think you're selling yourself short.
Yep.
But I also want to say that you and Turbo are welcome on the show anytime, and you guys could talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. And trust me, me and Jacob will make it fun.
Nerdy things.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a good idea. I definitely feel like there's a lot of like things that I notice when watching other like IFAF and just different stuff and like all the Mexico teams playing five so much and stuff like what defense are they in? Like what's everybody running? What's everybody doing? And I think that sometimes glosses people's minds because they're just like, what's the cool stuff? Where's the cool
Yeah.
things?
Okay. Okay. You want? I gotta say this. You know what's and Becca, you're gonna love this. So what's so crazy
Apparently I'm
about the
not.
strategy that I know Jacob doesn't care about this kind of stuff. But the strategy that the Mexico national team has. So
Oh
so
gosh. Okay. Here we
Spain.
go.
So yeah, so Spain is in the same group as the United States. Well, guess where 2 weeks ago where the Mexico national team was?
Spain?
In Spain. And they were
Cool.
playing the Spanish national team. Don't you think that they did
They
a
learned
little bit
something.
of preparing Spain to beat the
Yeah.
United States? That's
To beat them.
Why are Mexico and Spain so close? Like, is some of them like are they like homies?
There's probably like
no,
history, like
not
world history
No,
that
shut
would
the
make
fuck
no.
them.
up.
They're
I don't
no
hate
that
world
that's
history. I do
bad.
not hate
That's
it.
bad world history.
Yeah, I'm like,
Spain
what
literally
the
took
fuck?
Mexico over.
I was like,
That's
no,
what I'm
no. I mean,
saying.
like,
They're
this is how I'm gonna be like, hook me up with the China team because I want to be a little nerd for them. Like, I don't like who's got the in with them because I want to be whatever that lazy
Pat
keeper was on the sideline. Like, let me know because I'll help them nerd out. Let me
Pat
know.
Alley's
Yeah,
in
I
the
want to know
chat
like
right
why
now.
does Spain and Mexico like who's got the
Is he?
connect like who's the homies there?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that I mean, I think that's the point though, is I don't think they're really homies at all. But I think Mexico saw an opportunity to help prepare Spain for
Okay.
facing the United States in the group play, because if Spain could beat the United States and knock them out, that gives Mexico an easier route to
Who else
securing their
is in their
spot in
group?
the Olympics.
Because it can't just be Spain.
Australia and Nigeria.
Oh, they're not going to Australia. That's a freaking journey. Okay. Okay, that's so curious. Yeah, I mean maybe, and I think that also takes like the humbleness on Spain's part. Like, did Spain reach out and they're like, "Hey, like you guys, like
Yeah.
you want to get some reps? Like we can bring Portugal's team over. France is right there. France and Spain share a border. Like, do we want to? Do you guys want to come over here and like we'll just dilly dally around and figure it out? Like, I'm so curious. I'm so curious how that happened. Mexico, if you're listening to this, how cool of you. Let me know how that was.
Yeah. I
China, if you're listening to
you
this,
also
give me an iPad. I will be your nerd on the sideline.
oh this guy was doing it old school. He was doing it old school. He had like
I literally almost
he had this big giant piece of paper and he's like
Yes.
That's because Pat is old.
I asked Turbo, I was like, look, hear me out. Could you make like a flag football like score sheet the way like baseball has one where they like, you draw on the diamond, like done it like and do all that? I'm like, could you make a flag football? I'm old school too, Jacob. Like I want a piece of paper, like where you could be like, went for one, play, blah, 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 didn't get it, X, like whatever. And then went for two, like, but, and then like, on this drive, first play, you got 7 yards, but second play, incomplete. Third play was, 12 yards for a first down, X, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, is there one? Could we make one? Would that be beneficial for anybody?
yeah.
Did we just go binoculars on that?
I'm just
She got
sharing
really
deep into
close.
your souls. Like, can we do this?
I will say this.
So old school of you.
I think that the international teams, China specifically, is spending a huge amount of time on investing in their national team. And so I think that number one, Becca, are you prepared to move to China to get this job?
No, but does Pat live in China?
Yes.
Off and on.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, off and on. Yeah, if you want me to go to China, sure. But like, two, I can do analytics from anywhere. And just like tell me what the time zone difference is, so I can like wake up appropriately. But like, yeah, I literally just had this conversation with Turbo like 2 weeks ago. I was like, could you make like a score sheet that like tracks that, and then you enter all the data, and you're like, okay, when we run play number 17, you get on average 6 yards out of it. That's a good play. We should keep it. When we run play number 21, we're not doing shit. So take that out. Take that out. Like, and we're 60% on our 1-point conversions. So we need to figure let's work on that for an entire practice. And we're this on this and like blah blah blah. Like I would be so nerdy for someone for it.
Yeah. That sounds like a blast to me. Doesn't sound nerdy at all. I think that's great. I love it. Honestly, I think every national team around the globe would appreciate a tool like that. But I think that the nasty boys out of New Hampshire aren't going to use that. I just don't think they're going to.
Here we go. Now we're calling people out.
They work on some stuff. Yeah. So I was just curious. I mean, like that's so like. I mean, that's old school pen and paper, but like I'm sure if you could figure out an app to be like, okay, like da da da, like load your plays into there, blah blah blah. Like, hey, I would just be so pumped to do that for someone. So that's all.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Becca, it's basically tomorrow morning on the East Coast. But we really appreciate you joining us tonight, and seriously, anytime you and Turbo want to come back on the show, and
sure,
we can talk and we can have fun for 2 hours, because this was a lot of fun.
Yay! Thanks, guys. Thanks
Absolutely.
for having me, letting me chit chat, and I appreciate you guys both for everything you guys do for everybody.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you. This has been how long has this been in the making?
Like 2 years, because
I was gonna say Becca's been like Becca's like a unicorn for this show. Like we haven't been able to get her on this show for so long.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, but thank you guys. I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys. You owe me some clips. Jacob, if you want to work on a scorecard together, we can do that. We can figure it all out. I'm sure I'll hear from you
You
in 2 months,
you
but
mean
we'll do
like
it.
these?
No, I want like a
Oh, you want a stat sheet? I'll
yeah.
make you a stat sheet.
Okay, turn up. I'm really
Turn
picky
up.
though, so whatever you send me, I'm probably
It's
gonna
not going to be
rework,
good enough. I know.
and then we'll rework it. Well, that's how we'll work. But it'll
I,
get done before San Diego.
you think?
I tried.
uh,
I tried. Okay, well, I
All
appreciate you
right.
guys. I'm gonna go.
Absolutely.
yep.
Have a great night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh man, that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. Okay.
Good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you want to
That was good.
wrap the show up?
Let's do it. Good
All
Lord.
right.
I'm tired. This dog is
Yeah,
tired.
that was. I know it's late. We're everywhere. You can find this show on YouTube. It's already on Facebook and Instagram. Tomorrow morning usually is when it pops up on all the podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, all of those things. And then check out all of our fun stuff on TikTok and on really Instagram is the mothership. We have
Yeah.
merch, and you can see that in our link on Instagram, or just reach out to one of us and we'll point you in the right direction. But thank you guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you Becca for joining us tonight. Jacob.
Absolutely. Hey guys, we started the clock. Clock's been running this whole 2-hour episode, 2-hour special you're getting. Clocking out. See you guys next week.